Oh,
Morning, David.
morning, Bill. You did not need a sinus infection on top of everything else.
No, no, it's humbling.
Yeah, indeed. Little more dragon and tiger.
I'm sorry?
I said maybe you should be doing a little more dragon and tiger.
Yeah, I have. It
Ah,
hasn't been as consistent, and the same with heaven and earth. So, uh,
yeah. Well, you do what you can.
yeah,
So you're feeling better?
yeah, I'm feeling better. I'm still producing up here, and the cough is still tight, but neither one is nearly as bad. So,
Oh,
uh,
good.
I have 3+ days to go on the antibiotic, and I think I'll wait till tomorrow and then check in with the doctor if it hasn't uh, really improved, because I don't want to let it go to the end of the week. Yeah,
Yeah, and there you are with the weekend, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yep. Been there, done that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Indeed. Well, I'm glad you're improving.
Yeah, thank you.
How's the knee doing?
The knee is continuing to get better.
Good.
Uh, well, you know the routine. I mean, every time I do a little something, it lets me know, but I'm able to do a little bit more every day.
Good.
Um, I'm able to bend it more. I'm doing the marching in place exercise, and I get the right knee up just about as far as the left now.
Ah,
So there are little things that let me know that it's progressing.
yeah, yeah. The thing I discovered was that I can't crouch as low as I used to.
Mm, yeah.
I,
Well, I haven't. I When I stretch or do anything, including Tai Chi, I I don't push it over the limit.
yeah.
That
Oh no, no,
yeah.
no.
So
But I have. I mean, I'm able to crouch much lower than I could, 2 years
oh
ago.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah,
But I never got 100% flexibility back in my knee.
yeah, yeah. Well, I
Unfortunately.
probably don't expect to, but
Well, you
uh,
might.
yeah, I might. I mean, it's going in the right direction, and I have the better part of a year
Uh-huh.
to get it there. So,
Yeah, good. Morning, Jeff.
morning, Jeff.
Morning. Hey, Bill, how are you?
Okay.
Good.
How are you, Jeff?
Doing okay. Busy, but okay.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that you got the boy to school this morning?
Yeah, he's there. Big Halloween day today. He has his
Ah,
costume on and everything. So,
what is he masked as?
well, this morning he's just got like it's as a skeleton, but it's one of those simple things where it's a black costume with a skeleton kind of painted on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This evening we're going over to his best friend's house for a little while. They're going to do some trick or treating. He's got a really nice pirate costume, an actual good costume. So
Yeah.
he gets to go trick or treating twice, once at school and once this evening.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Well, he'll
He's
have fun.
excited.
Yeah, great. So I get we are here on Zoom today, and I am recording.
Okay, good.
Good. Questions?
No, not really.
I need a review of the footwork on the last posture we did. As far as when we're rotating, as we go back and forth, I think I may be missing one rotation of one of the feet because it doesn't feel quite right.
Are you in single whip or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. As we're going back and then single whip, or maybe I'm just weighting myself wrong at the end or something. I'm not sure, but I need to kind of see that again.
It's got quite, it's interesting after the first two grasping sparrow's tail are, everything is very small and quick.
Right.
The single whip has quite a bit of transition. Absolutely.
Right.
Okay. And any new awarenesses around Pung energy or increasing?
Not yet.
Yeah, not really. It's inconsistent if it's there at all.
Okay. And did you read the blue sections?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what struck you about that?
Well, that was part of, I think, my confusion, because I was reading Lu as sort of inward in the movement. Here seems to be out, as you explained, out and away. I don't know whether that's clear or not.
Well, it sounds like it's not entirely clear.
Not clear to me. Yes.
Yeah. Jeff, anything you want to throw in?
No, not really. I need to rethink about it because over the years I've lost some of my understanding of it. Put it that way.
So blue, and it does have the scooping sound. It's not just Lu. Bruce tends to spell it Liu, Liu, and I sort of had fallen into that, but I think that's incorrect. Actually, I think the correct pronunciation is Blue, which is not easy to do. I'm not suggesting that it's essential that you pronounce it correctly, but just so you know. I think a couple of things. One of the things is that when we think basically about that energy, is that it is going either back or to the side, and it could be either side, of course. Bruce's comment that as it goes back, that it needs to go at least to the spine, but actually it should go beyond the spine, is kind of an interesting reminder that our energy field behind us doesn't just end with the skin, but as in front and sides, it goes behind us as well. I particularly like Bruce's use of the word absorption to describe the energy of Lu, because you are absorbing, you are allowing it, as Master Joe describes, allowing it to come in and flow through you until it has exhausted its intent, and you are able then to do with his energy, your partner opponent's energy, whatever you choose, either to deflect it or to attack. And so really getting that sense that Liu is letting that energy come in and pass through you. It's essential that your root be firm, obviously, when you think about Liu. And it's a little difficult to recognize in the Wu style, because it seems to pass through so quickly. But as indeed it appears also in multiple ways that you see the Yang style, it does have a Yang element first, a Peng element first, which leads, in the sense of its martial application, the opponent to exert force, which allows you to then allow it to go through you and thereby control his force. So it is a particularly unusual energy, whether you're looking at it from a health or a martial standpoint, in that it doesn't appear much in other martial arts. So that it is unusual in that way. It is somewhat difficult for us because our culture thinks we should be in constant control. And this is a control in which you are actually letting go. One of my favorite phrases, because you have to allow that energy to flow through you that's coming in. So it's kind of hard to think about Lu without thinking of it in terms of how you're handling an incoming force. So you really do have to sort of think about it that way. And certainly when you then think about it in terms of daily life, there are many ways that we can apply that in terms of how we deal with whatever the situations are that occur in our personal life. So, I don't know, just some thoughts. Do you have anything you'd like to add or ask?
You alluded to one of the difficulties for me is that the movements, those three movements of Peng, Ji, Yu, and on, of course, happen so quickly that it's difficult to fasten on the energy movement. Peng, I have a couple of seconds to focus on.
Yeah.
But then they happen so quickly that, and I'm frankly still messing around with what my hands are doing.
Sure.
Too much. But even when those get settled, the hand movements, I think I'm still going to have difficulty tracking, energy movement.
Absolutely, it is much more difficult in the Wu style than it is in the Yang. I won't I won't in any way not agree with you or anyone else about that, because in the Yang we show rollback as a much, and I agree with Bruce, I don't really like that translation, but it is the English term we use most for it. In whatever Yang style or development of the Yang style you look at, you see pretty clearly that presentation of a moment of Peng first before you actually allow the softness of Lu to appear.
Mm.
And that is very hard in the Wu. That's the all my students who have studied the Wu style with me would certainly agree that the subtlety and sometimes the quickness of how an energy flows through or appears and disappears makes it particularly difficult. And it's one of the reasons why once you have the physical movements down, and indeed that's the first step, and you're absolutely right. But once you have the physical movements down, one of the stages of practice certainly is to slow those physical movements down hugely, as slowly as you can possibly go and maintain the form, which certainly is encouraged by Master Joe as one of the ways of practicing your form, because then you have the time to begin to express the energies and become aware of that flow. So let me just change here for a moment. So what I'm trying to suggest here is that eventually, when you can do so, you can allow your movements to slow enormously to the point where you have time to feel that expansion and the coming in and out of Ji, and the continuing out and in of Lu, and then on. And indeed, you're absolutely correct that when you're moving quickly, that's very difficult to feel.
Yeah.
And so that's a stage of practice. I mean, not only is certainly there are martial applications for this style, but it is probably the most advanced Taiji form that I'm familiar with.
Mm.
And it certainly puts some demands on you. So I think what I'd like you to do is to stand up and let's do our standing meditation group, and then we'll begin to look at the form. No. Let's. I'm thinking with this about once you begin to move, keeping the movement continuous, not letting any breaks develop, thinking about the roundness at the corners, And keeping that circularity and flow going as you begin to try to pulse the energy through your body. So stepping out and into center, and taking a moment first to just stand. Let yourself be as calm and quiet as you can. Allow your breathing to establish as full longevity breathing as you can at the moment without effort. Very aware of the sinking of the energy through your body. Feel it dropping down. Remembering that allowing the weight to subtly shift towards the heel and allowing everything to twist outwardly slightly will help to encourage the energy to drop. And then flowing into the 8 gates, bending and extending and continuing. And here we have that energy of tongue expanding. And also a little contracting so that we have that circularity. And then down to kun, earth, the energy of blue. And then to kan, water. Energy of on, push downward. And then up to Li, fire. The energy of Ji, press forward. Jun, thunder. Mountain. And Dewey Lake. So any questions in there? Okay, don't sit down. So what I'd like you to do is to just flow through those first postures. Let me see where you are. Then we'll work on whatever. Okay, so just do that one more time so I can look at the other person too. Okay, so let's work a little bit on all of that. One thing that I feel like you're not clear about is the beginning of this. And that is that it doesn't just go from your standing position step left, but rather there is a shift of the weight into the right leg as you spiral down to your base level on the right leg. So there is a movement turning to the right in which you have freed the left leg, so that as you begin to rotate your center, that places the foot. And now you have rotation and shift to pung. And note that I am not quite at my dynamic limit. I am probably 2 inches short of it. So that you still, and I have not rotated all the way forward at this point, so that I still have a slight forward movement and rotation for G. So that's one of the subtleties that's a little tough. I would not deny it. So bring the feet back together. Let me turn around and maybe a little easier to follow me. I can mirror it, but that's not always good for everyone. So you're going to shift and spiral down to your base level on the right leg, and then rotate slightly to step empty with the left, and then keep rotating and shifting, but not quite fully to your dynamic limit yet at pung. And still a little more shift and rotation to G. And then the shift forward and touch of Liu. And on. And you want to make sure you round that corner as you turn, and the arms are condensing in to the center. And one of the things in this style is that we don't go to embrace the moon as such. We go to the sense of compressing, condensing a small ball of energy between our hands. So that's one of the differences here. We're not going to embrace the moon as we do in the Xiang style, but rather to a real condensing of the energy there, so that when you're going from side to side and you come back, that shift and rotation draws the hands in, and that condensing continues. And then as you step, then you're ready to go to the other side. G, the U, anybody have a question there at the moment?
Nope.
No,
Okay. So let's try that again. So begin Tai Chi. So spiral down into the right, turning right, and then turn a little left, rotate and shift forward to Pung, and then G, Liu, on, turn, condensing in, turn the left leg, arms lowering as you rotate onto the left and step, and then Pung, G, Liu, Lu. Now, as we go to a single whip, here we're going to step. So we rotate left and step with the left foot straight ahead, not on an angle, but straight ahead. And we rotate and shift onto it, turning the right leg. And then we rotate and shift back. And when we go onto the left, we condense that ball in front of us. And then as we go to the right, we expand out. And here we're going to 100% on the right foot. So that as we rotate left and condense, we also reset that left foot on an angle and then continue to rotate and shift in the single whip. So let me do that facing you so that you let me actually see if I can mirror that for you. So we step, we rotate, and notice that my arms are coming in. I turn the foot, and then they are going out, gone to 100%, and then I turn and reset the foot, and the condense comes in. It's a short condense, boom, and then continue to rotate and shift into single whip. Question?
What's your final hand position at the end of the single whip? It looked, I've been keeping mine even, but it looked like your left was higher.
Height is the same. The left edge, the little finger edge of the hand of the left hand is going out in the same direction as the left toes.
Okay.
And the right is just matching it. So my arms are centered on the body, actually.
Right.
I'm
Okay.
not, and there's no intention that one is higher than the other.
Okay. That helps. Thanks.
Yep. Did that answer your question about the movement in the transition there, Jeff?
Yes, I realized I was not doing a twist up with my right foot as I shifted to the left. I was not twisting that right foot, so I was awkward.
That will help a lot.
Yep, that was it.
Okay, let's flow through those once more with me. So spiral down into the right. So you're actually turning right, closing that right quad. And then step, pung, ji, liu, on. Turn, condense, turn that left foot. Step with the right, pung, ji, liu, on. Turn and step with the left. Rotate onto it, condense your energy. Expand out 100% onto the right. Condense and reset. And then rotate and shift. And your position here, your center is not absolutely straight ahead. It is slightly turned left, but it's not, you're not trying to face the direction of the left foot. You're just 60% on the left foot in terms of weight, and the your dantian is turned just slightly left of center. So do that a couple of times. Let me see how you're doing. See if there's anything else I need to mention. So Bill, go back and do that again. You'll really let yourself close that right quad and rotate right. Yes. So Bill, two
Yeah.
things I would say. One is remember in Pung that the hand on the side of the leading leg is slightly higher than the other. They're not equal height. They're equal height when you do G, but not in Pung.
Okay.
And
So the first notification is the left is higher and then the right is higher.
you got it. And it's only, it only needs to be
Yeah.
an
Yep.
inch or two. It's not it's not cast in concrete what it ought to be. It's what you feel there, but it does need to be noticeably higher.
Okay.
And then in single whip, in that last rotation, let me so notice that everything is condensing in and then expanding out. And there is a little twist in that too. Where I want you to really think about what you're doing is here where you come in. The hands come in and then go out. So they're as you make that step, they really condense. So that's a little quicker than what we have done previously here, but you're condensing in so that you can have some place to really expand out from.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a quick little condensing of the hands that only coincides with the step out. And then after that, we go back.
Exactly.
Then
Yeah.
after that, we go back to expanding out as we rotate.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I mean, it's just a different pace. It's not
Okay.
so would you flow, Jeff?
Yep.
It was much better, Jeff. That looked more comfortable.
Hmm.
You have a question there?
No, I'm trying to, all the adjustments I'm making during this class, I'm trying to remember them as I do this, but yeah,
Okay,
it's getting there. It's feeling better. I'll ask more questions as they arise.
okay, cool,
It is definitely feeling better. Thank you.
sure. So I think we had started into pull down and embrace.
Yes.
And that's a little more difficult posture. So from here, the first thing is you just shift the weight onto the left. So as you do that, in this case, the left arm rises and the right begins to sink a little. And then you're going to circle on the left leg, rotating that right leg out and back into the center to just touch the toe. So you get to this point and you're going to rotate a little bit, in this case, a little bit to the right to draw the leg back, and then a little bit left to drive the foot forward. So remember, that's that sense of getting around their leg and coming into the center. It could actually be a kick into the groin. One of the difficult things is that this right arm, as you do that, is circling and coming forward, and you want it to end up beside your right thigh, but not too close. And the left arm has begun to come into a deflection. Now this is the first part of lift hand, but we don't actually do it here. It's interrupted, and this preparation continues, stepping back with the right foot empty, and the left comes up, and both hands have bent, the elbows have bent, the fingers are slightly bent. And then as you rotate and shift to the right and back onto that right foot, just the 60%, you do pull down. That's that arc down. And everything is expanding out into that. So that's the first part of that posture. Remember, this posture is called pull down and embrace. So that's pull down. So if we're in single whip, we shift, the arms begin to fold, we rotate and touch, and the right arm circles to palm forward, the left begins to come in. You immediately, you don't put any weight on that right toe, it circles right back. And as you do that, the right arm comes up and the left actually bends in a little more so that you can do the pull down. And here, one of the things you have to be careful of is that you don't go across the center line of the body. Remember, neither arm crosses the center line of the body. It can come to the center line, but not across it. So as you rotate and shift, don't over move the arms. They move a little, but it's mostly the arc and the expansion out. And then embrace is, again, a kind of quick posture in that You pick up that left toe and just let it release, which releases you to rotate. And you're facing more or less in the direction of the right foot. This is not an exact. You're not in a bow stance here. You've just released and rotated and bent in. And then as you shift the weight onto the left foot, the arms expand out. So this is another place where we talked about how this is another place where you have a Xiang movement of the arms forward as the body is retreating, which is a Tai Chi like movement that doesn't appear in many other martial arts. So once you get to this point, you're going to expand out as you shift back. Don't over expand, but you are sitting on that left leg. Not 100%, 60%. So go back to single whip. So shift and sit on that left leg, balance on that left leg. So you can rotate and touch, and then step back empty, rotate and pull down. Release the left toe and the body rotates to the right. Shift onto the left leg, pushing outward with the back of the arms. Now you might in application be doing the palms, but here the posture is to push with the back of the arms. Question in there?
In the first part, when the leg is coming around and the right arm is coming around, can you do that towards us so I can see what the left arm is doing? I know it's coming in, but I'm not really sure how or what angle or anything like that.
Yeah, let me do it both facing you and sideways to you, because I think that may help you see. That's one of the problems with Zoom is you can't see as well as if you were here.
Yep.
So you shift, you rotate and touch, you step back and pull down. Release and bend in, shift back, embrace.
When you shift back and embrace, your arms are twisting outwards, right?
They are twisted, little finger edges twisting outward slightly.
Okay.
Absolutely. As the arms expand.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk a little more about twisting.
Okay.
But I'm trying not to confuse you too much at this point. So if I do it sideways, this may help you to see a little better. So if I'm in single whip, shift, touch, step back and pull down, release, and embrace.
All right. So it did look like your left hand is doing a little bit of an out and then back in.
Doing what?
It looked like when you're doing that first part, your left hand is going out a little bit and coming back in.
In the
blade hand of your left hand.
So as you shift, it does it actually this is a little bit of pung energy in that left arm.
Okay.
And then as you step, it's starting to come in.
All right.
but it doesn't go all the way to the pull down position.
Right. Okay, yeah, that was a good angle, what you just showed. That makes it more clear, actually.
Yeah, so ideally here, as you shift onto the left, it rises a little. It begins to come in as you step. It continues to come in as you step back, and then you go into the pull down.
Okay. That's good.
Anything for you, Bill?
No, I'm sure there's something to work on, but yeah.
Probably. So try it just from single whip. Okay, so slow down. So Bill, I think that one of the really, for me, when I was first learning this posture, I think one of the hardest things was getting my weight fully onto the left foot so the body could really rotate to sweep that leg back and forward.
Okay.
So that's, and I can understand you may not have that at the moment, but that's something to work on.
Okay.
See, I didn't see your, I saw your leg move, but I didn't see your body move at all when you did that.
Okay. All right.
So the pivot point is your quad
Yeah.
for the whole body and leg. Ah, good. But don't rush the pull down. So that was a good start. When you get that foot to touch, and initially you have to just pause for a moment there, but eventually you can get it so that you just touch, step, and then pull down. Don't try to pull down while you're stepping, because
Okay.
that will
Okay.
be very ineffective.
Okay. I'm just in a hurry to get them down.
Well, are you hurting?
Excuse me.
I mean, I'm not trying to push you to where you hurt.
No, no, yeah, no. None of that going on.
Okay, good.
Yeah. That's what comes from not getting totally onto the left.
Right. That's coming. That was much better.
Okay.
I think it's important for you not to rush, to let yourself do each part.
Okay.
Even if you take a break, a pause in between each part for the moment, flow can come next after you have each piece in place.
Yeah.
Good. So that the first part went pretty well, Jeff. In terms of in terms of getting the leg to sweep around, you listened well to what I said to.
Right, I did, yes.
when you step back for the pull down, be aware what the sense is that the two arms, your hands, actually we'll think about hands here.
Yeah.
You grabbed his arm. You have a wrist and maybe just around the elbow or just below the elbow.
Right.
And you're going to take that and arc it down. The whole thing, both arms go together. Just don't cross the center line of your body.
Right. Okay.
Good, that was much better.
Okay.
And then when you release into the turn, the arms bend in, good. And when you shift back, they bend out and twist out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at the
Try to
end,
get-
it's 60% on the left foot approximately?
Approximately, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, when you end up,
At the end, at this point, yes.
you're on the right.
More on the right?
Oh, no, you're on the left, excuse me.
Left to the back.
Whoops, I'll really confuse you. No, you're on the left, that's correct.
All right.
Use the shifting of your weight to move the arms. I didn't, it doesn't feel like you have much distance to shift there.
Yeah.
So
the end-
that means when you step back with the right, you put it behind the left rather than out a little wider.
I'm gonna step back to the right.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I think the last time my feet were almost parallel as opposed to being more like a bow stance. I think
Yeah.
that was the problem.
it's not really a bow stance, but it's more like that.
Closer to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions there?
No, not right now.
I think that's enough at the moment too.
Yeah.
Do you have other questions, Bill?
No.
Oops. Where are we on time? Oh, good. So why don't we flow together from the beginning through this?
Okay.
So begin Taiji. So spiral down into that right leg, the arms beginning to lift. Rotate and step left. Rotate and shift to Pung. And the Ji. Continue forward and step Liu and on. Turn. Condense into the center, turn the left leg. Step with the right. Pung. Ji. Lu. On. Step with the left. Rotate onto it and turn the right, expanding the arms out, 100% on the right, reset, single whip. Continue on to the left, rotate and touch and step back, pull down. Release the left leg, bending in, shift back onto it, embrace. So, any questions there?
No. No.
Okay. Want to try one more?
Yep.
So the next posture is shoulder stroke. Let me do it once facing you so you can just see it. So what's going to happen is when you expand it out here, you have just a slightest turn back around your corner. And as you shift onto the left, the arms are bending in and separating. And you're going to 100% on the left foot. So you can rotate to the left and then a little bit to the right, setting up a real bow stance to the right front corner. And then you're going to rotate and shift. And you're rotating left and expanding out into shoulder. And one of the things here is that this is another place like Pangwen Ji in the beginning, where you're not going to the full bow stance here, because the next posture, you're going to actually rotate right and into your full bow stance. So you have to preserve it, and this is a very subtle difference here. You're stopping, instead of finding that bow stance position where the knee is just slightly forward of vertical. Where you're ending up is just slightly back of that, so that in a moment you will have that shift and rotate forward. So you have to try to preserve that, because if you don't, you lose part of that next movement. So when you've gone into embrace, you're going to actually continue on to the left foot and rotate left to draw that right knee in. So this is that protect the groin movement is actually what this is. So when you've gone to embrace, then you're going to continue back to 100%, rotate in and then rotate out, setting your foot for a bow stance to the corner, and then rotate and shift partway forward into shoulder. And this is very much like shoulder in the 8 gates, as a matter of fact. Questions? Okay. So again, when you've completed embrace, you're going to continue back to 100%, so that that shifting back draws the leg in. So you've embraced, and then shifting back draws in, step to the corner, and you've separated the arms now. And as you go forward, they both rotate. So remember, I'm going to turn it sideways to you here. You've done embrace. You're going to shift back, and actually this separates the arms. Rotate in, step to the corner, and turning left as you shift forward. And notice that the arms are rotating so that both palms go forward. The left palm is just really center of the chest, about heart level, and the lower hand is dantian, groin level. And both palms are facing forward.
Are the feet doing anything in that very last portion?
Not after the step.
Okay.
So when when you've completed embrace and you shift back, it draws the right, and you turn, that draws the right leg in. You rotate a little, you rotate forward in the direction of your right foot, and you place it for a bow stance so that you can shift your weight onto it as you go into shoulder.
Okay.
You have a question, Jeff?
As you step back out with your right foot to set it for the final time, are your hands doing anything at that point, or are they holding for that brief moment?
Well, they're separating here as you rotate in. They're continuing to bend and twist in, and really as you make that step, they have begun to turn out. So the step out is the beginning of the expansion into the final position.
Okay.
But the step, one of the reasons that you're trying to turn left onto your left foot is so that you can rotate slightly to the right, and actually you can rotate all the way in the direction of that right foot so that you're in a real bow stance. And then you rotate and shift forward, and you're in an unconventional position on your bow stance, but it's there.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, that's my answer. That's a good answer.
Okay.
As far as because I couldn't, just by looking, I couldn't really see your hands starting to expand, but then when you tell me that they do, that makes sense.
Yeah. So let me turn this and face you again. And maybe, actually, if I do this, I think it's probably easier to see sideways here.
Yeah.
So let me do that. So I've done embrace, continue on to the left, and step, rotate and shift forward. Yeah, it's pretty subtle in there.
Yeah.
Let's go back to single whip. So shift onto the left, rotate and touch, step back, rotate and shift, pull down, release in, embrace, continue on to the left, rotate in and out, then rotate and shift forward, shoulder. You want to try it once? Yeah, Bill, you want to rotate right when you step out
Okay.
so that you have the rotate back to the left for the posture. Yeah. That raise a question?
No.
Okay. So Jeff, you got to be sure that you include the bending in as you rotate back and in so that you have someplace to go out from.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
You talk about when I draw in?
Yeah.
Okay,
When you're coming out of embrace.
yeah, okay. I'll focus on that this time.
Let the right arm, left arm rise when you come back. Yeah. Don't go up when you step. Stay on the same level. Uh-huh. Let your arms expand out from the body, maybe just a little more. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a lot. Don't raise the shoulders. Yeah, good. Do you have a question there? Yeah.
No, I've got to work on that
Yeah.
drawing.
Yep. No, that's fine. Okay. Well, I think that's it for today.
Okay. Sounds good.
Good. Actually, you guys are doing well. That's, I feel like we're making real progress.
Okay, good.
Good. Have a great week, and I'll see you next Tuesday next week.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
David.
you for making the change.
Yep.
No problem. Take care,
Okay.
everybody.